y'all. Welcome back to the Powerlifting Podcast. I'm your host, Solana Lewis, and today, me and Kristen talk about how she is feeling as SBD Raleigh is around the corner. Today is Thursday that you'll be listening to this podcast if you listen to it when it comes out, and she competes on Saturday. So it's a really big meet. It's her first time on the platform in 2 years. So we just talk about like her mindset, where she's at, what she's done to prep for the meet, how her prep has gone, and then stay to the end because we talk about a really cool offer we have for you that is free to you, but only for 7 days. And we really think you'll get a lot out of it. So if it's not your first time here, that must mean you enjoy us a lot. So please do leave a 5-star review and a rating on whatever you're listening on. We're on Apple and Spotify, so either one of those you can leave a rating. And I appreciate you guys. We're also on YouTube if you want rather watch us versus just listen. So check out the Power and Lifting Podcast YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. All right, y'all. Me and Christy are back. I feel like it's been so long because I had like 2 episodes without you, and now I'm like, I missed you.
Oh, you missed me. And I get to see you in person. We're basically doing like 2 podcasts in 1 week.
We'll both be at Raleigh, not Raleigh or whatever else everyone's saying. We'll be at Raleigh. Raleigh.
Really?
And the last time we talked about a meet, it was me going into my competition. So now you get to feel all the feels, Kristen. Feel all the feels.
Dude, I feel
it's
like
your first meet in how long?
Over 2 years. My last meet was Worlds 2022, and my glute was messed up, so I just did a token squat and just embarrassed myself on the world stage. It's fine. So that was my last meet. I feel good. I mean, I'm nervous. I feel like not like anyone really cares, but I always, you want to perform well. And I'm always nervous that I'm gonna not do well, right? I feel like that's a fear for everybody. But it's like I've done this before. I know that I've put in the work. Um, as long as I, show up and put that weight in the bar and keep doing what I've done in the gym, I'm confident that I will be okay.
Okay. So my first question, I'm like interviewing you. My first question for you.
Oh, haven't done these in a while.
What truly motivated you to do this meet?
Honestly, I think the past 2 years, I've been kind of just going through the motions. If I go to the gym and, you know, work out, put some weight on the bar, I haphazardly do my workout, and then maybe I'll skip a day. So I feel like these past 2 years, I've kind of maintained strength, but I haven't really done anything to try to get stronger. So doing a meet, and I've kind of had to humble myself a bit because again, I've taken 2 years off essentially, or 2 years of just working out. And then I think 12 weeks ago, or was 12 or 15 weeks, is when I decided I wanted to do this meet. And I did it because I need something to hold me accountable and consistent in the gym. And so now I'm no longer just going to the gym for fitness because it's healthy and it's good for you. I'm going to the gym because I'm training. And it's so much easier to not skip a training session when you're training for something as opposed to I haven't competed in 2 years. Who cares if I skip a day or something? So that was, I think, the main reason. Also, I just who knows how many more meets I have left in me. And I want to feel like I retire because I chose to, not because I like was forced to because of this whole glute thing. So yeah, that's kind of why I decided to come back. And I'm in a better mindset. I mean, we've talked about this before. I think I'm definitely in a better place than I was 2 years ago, even last year. So I've mean, not to say that I don't have stress, because I think we all do to an extent, but I've managed my stress. I'm just in a much better place than I was a year ago, that I can focus on something like training for a competition, and a big meet at that. It's not like a local competition. I'm flying across the country for this meet. So I'm excited.
Hey, I think one thing I always tell my friends who don't compete, I'm like, I don't know what motivates you to show up every single time you train, because
Yeah.
having a meet for me, like, it's imperative, or I don't know what I do. I can't say I wouldn't train because I haven't stopped competing since I started. It's been a decade. I have literally done a meet every single year, if not two or three. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you were just saying, like you need to be motivated because you might skip a session or two. Have you skipped any sessions at all since you signed up for the meet?
Not since I signed up for the meet. Before then, yes. Why? I hate to admit it, but yes, I've definitely skipped plenty of sessions. I'm embarrassed to admit. And it kind of sucks, not sucks. I can't say that. Um, Women have gotten strong. It
Girl,
like, wow. Like, it's cool, but at the same time, I'm playing catch up, right? And it's hard because there's a part of you that you can't force strength. So I'm gonna put on the bar what's on the bar, right? I can't put any, I mean, I can if I want, but that's not going to end well. So I am only as strong and capable of, so much. And so I know I want to do well. I hate to say that I don't think I'm going to win, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I've taken 2 years off and I've only been training for the past 15 weeks. Like, going to be, unless someone breaks their leg, all 7 women there's
man,
whatever happens.
I'm about to say, ma'am, and I'm real as more than one person needs to break their leg.
Unless, like, so anyway, I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna have fun. I want to use this as like my first meet back and just build from there. So my next meet, I mean, my next meet, I haven't even done this meet yet. I would love to do nationals eventually, in February of 20, I don't know when
It's
nationals
not
is.
February.
Next year.
I don't know when it is. They can't be
March.
February, can
I don't know. I feel like they made it sooner because World is in June.
it? Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk. You want to check it while I talk? Can you check, please? Because Sheffield the January 26th, so that like triggers my. I know the timing of everything sucks, but I didn't think it was like the very next month after Sheffield.
Because it wasn't it within 2 or 3 weeks. The Sheffield and the
Well,
Nationals was not that long after.
I don't even. Okay, well, I'm not sure because I know they keep moving dates around.
I know.
Um,
Well, last year I'm pretty sure it was end of February, beginning of March. I think it was
it was a
beginning.
month. I know it was a 4 week difference.
Yeah, so it was beginning of March.
Okay, cool. That makes more sense to me. He said
Yeah.
February. I'm like, no, it can't be
Or I was
February.
thinking
What?
like end of February,
Okay.
but beginning of March. Um, so yeah, that would be August, September, October, November. 6 months.
Okay.
That's enough time.
Nice amount of time. I
Yeah.
think it's a good time to mention. So, everyone listening, for SBD Raleigh is essentially a national version of Sheffield, where the winner is whoever breaks the national record by the highest percentage. So, it's not a weight class battle, it's not a dots or get lift points battle. It is literally whatever the national record is, how much you can break it by, or how close you get to breaking it if no one breaks it, is who is the winner. So, that's
Yeah.
why I said if y'all think I'm a jerk for saying what I said, I'm not. I
I
was
have to
just
break seven
saying
legs.
more than one
I
person
don't
needs to
know.
break their leg for you to go that far, that
Yeah,
close to
yeah.
a world national record, and no one else can. Just so you know, everybody listening. But okay, another thing that we have talked a lot about is in the past when you were training, you had some unhealthy coping. Like I can't speak. Wow, unhealthy coping methods, right? With like bad training sessions or just like bad days. So, have you been triggered at all during this prep to go to any unhealthy coping methods if you had like a bad training session?
Have I been triggered?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Did I follow through? No. So those are difference. And just, I mean, I guess it's triggered is like, have we had a bad training session? Like, I feel like we've all had bad sessions before. And before I think almost use it as an excuse at that point because I was just really in a really bad place. And now we all have a bad training session once in a while. So it happens. And it's kind of like, ironically, normally I'll have a bad session and then my best session comes like 2 days later. So I'm like, all right, well, I know that I'm gonna like PR in 3 days, so it's fine. Um, it's weird how it works like that too. It's so weird. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you sulk for a couple of minutes and then all right, moving on. We got plenty more training sessions to go. I've had great training sessions. This one wasn't even bad. It just everything didn't feel good. And so maybe I have to lower the load to hit the appropriate RPE, and it's not the weight that I want, but as long as I'm within that RPE, it's like, did I have a bad training session or am I just telling myself that? Like, listen to your body. And that's something that in the past I probably wouldn't have done. I would have tried to grind out a lift because we're athletes and we're competitors and that's what we do. But you learn over time that that's not what you do because you can get hurt or something, something that you don't want to happen can happen and it's never a good idea. So yeah, I think I just chalk it up as it is what it is and, try again tomorrow.
It seems like you have learned how to be more objective with your training. And I love that because I had like a moment this week where I was like, Delana, you have really learned to be objective. Like you're not, you know what I mean? So, and to keep it really short, it happened yesterday. I had like it's supposed to be my primary squat day, and there's so many changes in my training right now because I have a new coach, and he's like, let's tweak some stuff, and I'm like, this block, I'm letting him adjust it. I think the first block, I was like, I don't want to change anything because I'm like 12 weeks out already. The first day, I was like, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
So you move stuff around, and because of me going to California this past weekend for work, I had a 5 day gap between my squat sessions. Normally it's a 48-hour gap, but I had to move everything around. So my squat session felt like dog poop. Like it was like my primary day, and I was like, wow, I'm grinding. I shouldn't have grinded. I should have actually gone a little bit lighter, but it wasn't that bad. I should have gone like 5 kilos lighter, but I like grinded out in my head. I say grinding this lift, and I was like, I should have went lighter. However, I know why this felt like shit. Like I know that when I have a long gap, like more than 3 days between squats, it feels like poop. So I'm just gonna finish it out, lower the weight for my back downs, hit the RPE, and move on. Like I'm not gonna get mad.
Do
So
you
I was
squat,
like, look at me. Hmm?
do you squat 3 days a week?
So 3 days, but as of now, like as of literally this block this week, I'm doing belt squat for the third squat day. It was 3 low bar squat days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm okay with it because I like that we're doing the belt squat because he's having me push the belt squat hard.
Mhm.
And before that third squat day was super light, but my squat I feel like has been stalling. So I think I needed more intensity. So I'm like, okay, I like it because I don't think I can handle 3 more intense squat days a week. So I'd rather do a heavy belt squat.
Yeah.
I like
Okay. Good. I'm happy to hear that.
it. All right. So you told me you had to pee like 3 times before we even started this call, and we only spoke for like 15 minutes. So it's your first water load in years. How are you feeling with that?
I mean, actually it's not too bad. I think the water loading was never the issue. It was like waking up and still being overweight, which was the issue.
You're like the water load not working. What's the problem?
The water, yeah. When the water load doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit of a water load right now, and so it just means that I'm peeing a lot. So I had to run to the bathroom before this, and I was like, I hope if I can make it through an hour without having to pee. And then we were talking about tomorrow when I fly out, and how I'm making sure that I'm getting an aisle seat, because I don't want to be that person on the plane who has to wake people up if they're sleeping because I have to pee. And I get so pissed when someone's like on the aisle or middle seat, and especially if it's like a long flight, like an overnight one, and they're coming up like 2 or 3 times. Like, I'm like, fuck. Like, stop drinking. Like, I'm gonna take that water from you. You're done.
I feel like the rule is you get one. You get one time. I don't care how long the flight. Well, I guess
Yes,
that matters, but like even cross country, 5.5 hour flight, you get one. All right, and that's it. And then sit down. Unless you get lucky, you wake up a second time and they're up to go, and you just like, let me just join. Like that's all you got.
yeah, you get one. And if I see you chugging water and chugging drinks, I'm gonna take. I'm not gonna take it from you, but I'm gonna internally cuss you out inside. In my brain, I am yelling at you right now, and I'm just gonna give you this really salty look, and I'm not gonna be nice.
You're like, excuse me. You're like,
Kinda. I don't ever say anything. I'm just kind of like passive aggressive. I'm like, just get up. I'm like,
I think the worst is like because overnight and you set up camp. Like I set up camp and I sit down. I'm like, all right, I got the blanket on, I got my laptop on, I got the earphones on, I have like 2 snacks that I track the macros in advance on, and then I have like 2 beverages that like I take very small baby sips, but I don't want just water. I want like water and Snapple. And I'm like, I'm ready to go. It's all it makes me move. I'm like, I have 2 phones. I have both phones out. It's like
and you're like, do you see me? You can climb over. I'm not moving.
climb over me. I cannot do this. Oh my god.
That's so funny. Oh, I just hope that that the flights aren't canceled tomorrow, because that would just
Yeah.
be a nightmare.
Yes. So for people wondering, because if you ever listen to this later, you might be like, "What are you talking about?" With the weird, was it a data
It was a
breach?
data coding failure, essentially. It was like they did an upgrade, I think, and I don't know, to be honest, but whatever they did, the code was wrong, and so it basically like shut down the kind of like half the world, because wasn't like other countries have been affected too. And so
I,
airlines have been down. The Southwest is chilling. Southwest is like, well, we don't use that. We're good. They're
and I think United's
fine.
pretty good for the most part. I've heard United's good. Plus, I flew United. So this past weekend, I was in California, and I had many friends who were affected trying to fly back because most of my friends came from Jersey and New York City. So I
Yeah.
took United. I was fine. It was Saturday night. Yeah, I was fine. I had a friend who took, I think it was American. He only had 3 hour delay. But the people who tried to come back yesterday and the day before, so Tuesday, Monday, they were screwed. Like I have one friend who was flying American. The flight, what does happen to you? Flying American, he got canceled on 3 different times in a day.
Flying to Dallas.
Um, ew. And then I had another person who got home, I think today, but they were delayed for 2 full days and had to spend more time in a hotel. And they were only offered one flight that was like United, but it was like $1,600 because they were like charging him that to get on it. And he was like, forget it.
Wait, they weren't giving him a like a to reboard. They weren't doing
It
it for
was a
free.
different airline that was like, we have a, like, he like went with his friend to try to go on his
Oh,
friend's
because it was
flight.
United and America.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh,
And they were like, yeah, for 1,600. He was
dang.
like, let me take my ass back to the hotel.
Oh, I'm glad it kind of, I mean, it's slowing down. I think things are starting to pick back up, but I'm glad it happened last week and not this week, because I feel like they probably would have had to cancel that meet, because I don't think anyone would have showed up at
Oh, that would
that
have
point.
been so horrifying. Oh my God.
Imagine. Oh, yeah. So hopefully that there's not too much of an issue. I got my like check-in and they seemed fine. Like it was like, make sure you check in. Here's the voucher. If they like did offer if I wanted to like move my flight or take a voucher. It's like, nope, I will be on this flight.
Solid, solid.
I
All
have the
right.
aisle.
In the aisle seat.
In the aisle seat. If you're on the aisle seat, you can get up 100 times. I don't care.
Yes.
you're stepping over me or asking me to get up, like that's annoying. So
Yes.
if if you are water loading, get an aisle seat.
Pro tips here. All right, so you're gonna get to your meet. So do you have like any sort of thing you do like the day before to help you get prepared for the meets?
The day before. Not really. I mean, like this week we're tapering, so I usually do like a little recovery day, and I'll go and like get a massage and go do yoga and just a nice chill. I go in the sauna. I do an ice bath. I did this time, and normally I say like don't do it, but with the goal with an ice bath is to reduce inflammation. And when you're recovering and leading into a meet, you want to reduce that inflammation. So the only time that I ever take an ice bath is leading into a meet.
Maybe I'll try it. Cause my
Mhm.
gym now has cold plunges. Maybe I will try it the week
I wanna
that I
do it.
leave.
And I do it more because it sucks, but I will say I feel better after. Like when I get out of it, I'm just feel so relaxed. And I do the contrast, so I'll do like sauna for like 10 or 15 minutes, 3 minutes in the cold plunge, sauna for 10 or 15, and then cold plunge, sauna, cold plunge, and then so it's like 3 sessions back to back. And oh, it feels so good. Like I see
Uh-huh.
why people do it, but then also at the same time, well, I think some people do it because they see like celebrities do it, right? Um, but it does feel really good. And I just
How
want
long do you
to.
how long do you stay in the cold plunge before you do 10 minutes in the sauna?
No, I do the sauna first because I'm a little, and I
Got it.
like overheat, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so freaking hot. I cannot wait to get into this cold plunge because I'm like dripping. Um, and then I get in the cold plunge, and then I'm like, it feels good for like 3 seconds. And then I'm like, oh, I'm cold. Um, but yeah, it's don't do it every day after a workout, but during a taper week is when it would be warranted.
Fair. I'm gonna try it. I'm officially gonna try it before I go to Utah. Um,
Do it. Let me know how it feels too.
I have to. We have a whole new, like, brand new recovery center where they have like the contrast and everything. I'm like,
That's
okay,
what
I'll try it.
my gym has is the contrast shower. They even just got like a red light thing.
Yes,
Um and I mean I think it's BS, but I'm like, well, it's free. I might just lay in it just because.
done that before when it was free. I worked at Equinox and it did nothing. I'm like,
Yeah, but
this is
it's like,
so
why
overrated.
not? Like you might as well just lay in it and sleep. I don't know. Whatever. Um, but yeah, so other than that, I mean, tomorrow, well, I fly out tomorrow. Friday, they're doing like a photo shoot for SBD. I think that's my only like real obligation. And then I'll probably just, well, I have to go get food. I'll probably do that tomorrow when I get to Raleigh. But yeah, honestly, I'll probably just chill in the hotel, maybe go for a walk, get some active recovery in.
There we go.
Yeah,
Like it.
that's it.
Okay. What is the number one thing you're the most excited about for this particular meet? Like, yes, your first time coming back on, but like,
Yeah.
is there anything specific you're like,
I think just to see everyone. I mean, like these meets, um, I mean, you and we talk a lot, right? And you see people online, you keep up with their lives, but how often do we get to see each other in person? And I don't know, maybe we go out to dinner one night or breakfast, and we get to shoot the shit. Like it's just fun because a lot of the girls, a lot of these people, I mean, we're competitors, but I think at the end of the day, a lot of us are friends too. And I'm really excited to see my friends. So yeah. And I'm gonna make new ones because there's a lot of people that are competing that I don't even really know, at least not like on a personal level that I haven't met in person because I haven't competed with, like I said, it's been 2 years. I haven't competed with some of these people before. And So I'm kind of like, oh, I'm kind of shy because I haven't met them. And I'm like, oh, are they nice? But I don't know, I've never had a bad experience. So yeah, see my
Same
old
here.
ones.
I've never had a bad experience meeting someone that I know from social media, like from powerlifting.
Yeah, I've never, I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever really had any bad experience either. So hopefully it
Have
stays that way.
Have you ever had someone, so you travel somewhere, you like maybe train or compete, whatever you do, and or even coaching, and then you leave and someone DMs you and you're like, oh my gosh, I saw you. I didn't want to say anything. Like you were busy. And I'm like, you should have just said hi to me. Like, I don't know if I'll ever see you again.
I get that. I mean, probably not so much anymore because I haven't competed again in a while. Like I said, like a lot has changed, so people probably don't even know who I am anymore. It's fine. But yeah, I've gotten that before where people have seen me and wanting to say hi and they were like too shy or too scared. I'm like, yeah, come say hi next time. I'd love to say, I love meeting new people.
Yeah,
I'm
I
shy and
got
awkward too, so I probably knew who it
right.
was, and I was probably like, "Oh, I know her. I'm not gonna go say hi."
I just say hi now. But I feel like so I had that happen a few days ago. Now, granted, she did say it was at regionals, and she mentioned how fast the flights were. Those flights were so fast. I'm like, if you were competing, I understand not having time is ahead of me. But I was like, every time I go somewhere, there's like one person who reaches out, and I'm like, just say hi.
Yeah. Yeah. And I need to be better about that too. When I see someone who I recognize, I need to just make that effort and, hey, I'm Kristen. Nice to meet you. I know who you are. I follow you
I
on
know
Instagram.
who you are.
Yeah.
All right. So another cool thing we're doing is besides doing a podcast in real life together, which I'm super excited to do, we are releasing an ebook on the day of your first meet back in 2 years. I'm gonna tell everyone to celebrate you coming back to the platform. That's the whole reason why we're doing it. No other reason.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. It didn't just take me a year to start doing anything with it. Oop.
But yeah, it's called the powerlifting guide, and I'm excited because it's like every single thing you need to know, not just like on meet day, but like how to even sign up for your first meet, the federations, the options, what the differences are between them, and then once you do sign up, like how to actually show up to meet and know what to do so you're not confused. Everything from the weigh-in to the medal ceremony, and then like how to help yourself after a meet, like what to do next because post meet blues is a real thing. Like it's like every single thing you could want to know. And I remember you telling me we have different stories. My first meet, I did have a coach, so I wasn't as lost. Like I was lost, but like I had guidance. Your first meet, you said you were an absolute crap show, and you wish you had this book.
Yeah, well, I mean, my first meet was 2014. And even before that, when I first learned of what like I didn't even know what it was, right? I think a lot of people it's like, oh, bodybuilding? Yeah, I know what that is. I'm like, I mean, how many times have you gotten that, right?
This
And
weekend,
and so then you're like powerlifting, and then there's 100 different federations, and you're like, well, what? And so people are, especially when you're newer, and I'm like, what federation are you competing in? And they're like, I don't know. And then like do you bench with your feet up? Do you bench with your feet down? What kind of bar do you use? Is it a 55-pound bar? Is it a 45-pound bar? Do you use a deadlift bar? And people are like, uh is it drug tested? Is it undrug tested? So these are just things that the only like with USAPL, that was just like the only I didn't even know that another federation existed. That was just like I don't know, maybe I Googled it one night and that's what popped up and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna, sign up. And that's kind of how I felt. I really literally fell into USAPL. I didn't know that other federations even existed. Um and yeah, so there's just a lot that goes into it. And it's scary. And a lot of people, especially lifters that I've started working with, some of the questions that they've asked, I'm like, you just have a book and just provide it. And I'm honest, I'm going to give it to all of my clients. anyone who signs up with me for coaching, just it's part of my coaching, and I think that'll help people who need it. So
Yeah, one thing you mentioned was you only knew about the USAPL, and for me, my first meet was RPS because that was just what my first coach did. So
yeah,
they were doing
that's
RPS, and it was a
another, yeah,
12-hour meet. But besides the point, 12 hours, not kidding. But anywho, I feel like the good thing about this book is we talk about what I feel is the main federations in America.
that's yeah.
And so it's like really it's USAPL, it's Powerlifting America, and then it's either WRPF or maybe USPA, even though I feel like they're are they as relevant right now? There was so much drama. Are they still doing good? I don't even know.
I mean, people still that they still have meets, so it's there. Yeah. But
All
hey,
right. Those are the
information,
four.
want to
See?
know about USPA, and I don't know, I have the website link, so if it doesn't exist, you'll know because it'll say page not found.
It
But the
definitely exists. But
the
yeah,
link
so
is there.
those are what I would call the main four. And it's good to know that because you can easily stumble into, not saying other friends are bad, but like you might stumble into a federation where you're like, oh, this is like where everyone's at, and you're just lost and you don't understand why no one knows what you're talking about. Like AARPF is one, and
Yeah. It's
other ones that I can't think of the name.
ABC,
ABCD.
FG, XYZ. That's what we should do. We should make our own powerlifting federation. We'll call it
Yes,
XYZ powerlifting.
we are in desperate need of a 29th, not even, of a 57th
Oh my
Powerlifting
God.
Federation in this country. But that's another big part of it. And then also, I think what's really helpful is we talk a lot about the food you eat on meat day.
Oh yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people I still see it. It's not as bad because there's more information out there, but I still see people, they weigh in and I see like Skittles first. And I'm like lost. I'm just lost. I'm like, do you eat Skittles for breakfast in general? Like, who told you it's a good idea? Sometimes I still see donuts. And I'm just like, that's a whole lot of fat for someone who's about to
Donuts, man.
go
Oh,
train. Like, you're about to lift something heavy. You want some carbs. You don't want slow digesting fat that's going to
oh,
make
there's
you
carbs in
gassy.
donuts. There's just a lot of other things
A
too that
lot of stuff, too.
probably going to be coming in one end and out the other. And
Okay, so oh my God. I have a story. So, and this is why we need this book, y'all. So I have a client. She did, I don't know if it was the first or second meet. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. She's not talking about her. She lives in Alabama, right? And so she does WRPF, did a meet, and she told me all about the fact that some people ordered a pizza, like multiple pizzas, and they weighed in and ate pizza, and then they were struggling by the time they got through like their second squat. Like I mean, like they were burping. They were
oh,
like you saw them like holding their stomach. She saw them holding their stomach, and she literally watched them and was like, "Why the f did you think it was a good idea to eat pizza, like cheesy, greasy pizza, and then go try to lift? Like it just doesn't make sense." But people don't think
right?
about that. They're just hungry. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Yay, I've done it." And it's like, no, the
I've been,
meet hasn't started yet. You haven't done anything but weigh in. You've done nothing. Like, what are you doing?
I told you the time I ate cereal before the meet, right?
You did not, but I love cereal
I-
before meet. Go ahead.
Just a lot of cereal and a lot of milk.
See, now I be eating the dry.
Well, yeah. Dry cereal would have been the smart thing to do. I was like, ooh, fat-free milk. That's fine. That'll be great. Ooh, girl, squats. Those are
Just
fun.
gas. Just
Ugh.
straight gas. Like did you apologize to the back spotter every time it came out or not?
I think you know what I did do? I apologized to Sam Calhoun because that was when that was Nationals 2017. And well, this is when I would like, I mean, I still do it a little bit, like peeing on the platform, and I feel like I left you a present on the platform.
Oh my god. I cannot.
I know.
But
Thanks.
that's anywho. But these are seriously this besides the PN platform. We don't go into PN platform because I don't feel like we need to talk about it
Oh,
on the
oh my
book.
God, we should make a whole podcast for I mean, maybe not a whole
We
podcast.
kind of did.
Did we?
We talked about it a lot in one episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I pee. I'll probably pee. Just letting you guys know, just to forewarn you. Just to
Just
let
want you
you
to know.
know now that I will probably pee. It is not on purpose. Actually, my parents, I'll wear like little pads. So my mom got me like pads one year. She's like, "Here, Kristen, I got you something." I was like, "Oh, thanks, mom. So sweet." But thank you because I need this.
But I will use it, but I nobody gave it to me.
Whatever. I'm fine.
I don't. My mom, when she was going to like every single meet I did, and this is why I was like thankful I don't pee on the platform, because she would comment, and she doesn't powerlift, okay, so like she's just a person watching, and she's like, I see the girls who like end up peeing, like that must be so unhealthy for your body, like it has to be putting too much pressure on your organs if you're doing that. She would just always go in on like how it must be such an unhealthy thing. I'm like, Mom, the last thing I'm concerned about is like people's health when it comes to like doing a heavy deadlift, like in their pee. Like I think people should focus on working out in general. Like
It's fine.
it's fine. But she
Yeah.
would just go on every time. And I was like, thank God I don't know what she'd be saying to me in this moment. Like I would just be so annoyed. She'd
Oh yeah.
probably be trying to convince me to stop powerlifting. And I'd be like, Mom.
Yeah. Well, you are the weakest link. That's what I always think every time that I pee. Goodbye.
But so yeah, the book will be available on Saturday on both our separate websites. I will link it below. I guess I'll go back into this episode and link it after I post it. I'm posting it on Thursday, tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'll go back in and link it. But also, if you go on either of our Instagrams, you can find it on our links.
I'm gonna have to remember to post on my meet, but I think we're competing later in the day, so it should be good.
You are. Aren't you like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock, I think.
Thank God too, because I hate this time change. And if I was in the morning and had like I don't know if it was 9 a.m. and 7 a.m. weigh in, that would be like a 4 a.m. weigh in for me. That would suck. So I'm glad it's later in the evening or later in the day.
I really can't imagine, because I'm obsessed with going to the West Coast because of the time change. Like,
I
I just feel like I get extra time in my life, and I'm so happy. And some of my friends this past weekend were like, I hate it. I feel like I just can't sleep. I get up at 4 a.m. I'm like, yeah, so you have more day.
Yeah, it's so hard like going to the East Coast, but then when I come back, I'm like, oh yes. Like I left at 8 and I got in California at 10. It's
1 or
great.
something. Not 11. Like 11, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
11. Oh, this is
yeah.
great.
Traveling back is terrible. Like, traveling back, I hated
Well,
it.
going this way, traveling to, I think I fly out tomorrow at 10 and I get in Raleigh at 7:30.
Yep, the whole day ruined. Your day is shot.
Great. And
And
I'm not gonna sleep. Like
no.
the bedtime's at my bedtime. Like I have a bedtime. I go to bed at like 10, maybe 11. And I'm like, oh great. So I'll just be going to bed at 1, 2 a.m. This will be fun.
Fantastic. All you need. 3 hours sleep.
And then have to wake up at 4 a.m. or to be at weigh-in. I'm like, I might as well just not go to bed. I'm just gonna like get to my hotel and then start getting ready for the meet because I'm
You get to your hotel, take a shower, you put on your singlet, you're like, I'm just gonna.
yeah. Oh my God. A
All
nightmare.
right. Anything final you'd like to say about Raleigh? I'm super excited to be there with you in person and watch you and cheer for you. It's gonna be great.
I'm glad I'm glad that you're gonna come. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm happy to be back on the platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it. A little bit. Okay.
All right. I'm excited too. Okay. I get inside in the morning, by the way. So my flight better be perfect, because I get in like 9 a.m.
Damn, you're like cutting it to the wire.
Well, all my friends decided to do the same thing. Like, because my friends are coming from Virginia, so they're just driving like 4 hours. And so they're coming day of. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get a hotel for like a night by myself. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. So
Oh,
But it's like less than 2 hour flight, so I'm not like stressed. I just need to
yeah,
make sure nothing happens.
yeah, you'll be good.
That'd be fine.
All
All
right.
right. That's it. That's it, everyone. Thank you for listening. Catch y'all next time on the Power and Lifting Podcast.